You were here on time. I recommend you fill in these seats. They're the most comfortable seats in the house anyway, but they're also the ones that get to see the stuff that's going to make the most money for you. And you're going to sit through this anyway. So just thinking out loud, if you're going to sit through this, you might as well not miss being able to see the stuff that helps you make more money. So welcome to Masterclass Central Florida, everybody. Thank you guys for being here on time. Can you all give yourselves a round of applause? Or at least most of you guys were here on time. We're going to kick this off and let them fill it in the back because our speaker came a long way, and I know you guys want to hear him start. So this is our, I don't know, like 67th session or so of Masterclass. We've done a whole bunch of them downtown Orlando. We did 50 of them at Harry Buffalo. And anyway, we moved here this year. It's an awesome venue. It's super comfortable. If you can't tell, they did not renovate. A bunch of people are asking me, hey, what did they change? Renovation did not happen. However, the renovation will continue and will happen, but we are here currently for almost the rest of the year. You're going to want to pull your phone out right now if you're here. If you guys could just pull your phones out and hold them up real fast so I see you brought them. You're going to want to go to masterclasscfl.com, and here's why. There's already about 60 people signed up for next month's session, and we usually only give the first 75 tickets for free. I just changed it to 100, so maybe 30 of you will get a free ticket, and Masterclass CFL will be right up the street at Venue on Lake Lily, right across the street and about a half a mile down the road, okay? Because this will not be available in July. So we're going to be there on July 20th. We're going to have an awesome panel. We are redoing the panel that didn't happen in February, and that was supposed to be Ken Posick and Lee Goldberg, and somehow we ended up with completely different people. But we also realized that Ken Posick and Tiffany Pantozzi were like lightning when we put them together. So we actually have all three of them coming, and they're going to be teaching July 20th. They are three of the best personalities in real estate, and they all sell a crap ton of real estate. That's an actual defined word, by the way. That's a metric. They sell a ton of real estate. It will be right up the street. You're going to want to grab a ticket, masterclasscfl.com. And we do this every single third Thursday of the month. Thanks to our sponsors. There's about 80 companies that help make Real Producers happen. You'll see their logos come up. Make sure you visit them and download these magazines. Even if you don't care about the stories, download the magazines because you want our preferred vendor list. That will save you a ton of time finding who the best of the best service providers are. Every single person you meet in this room that doesn't sell real estate is not here by accident. They were referred by a top 500 producer. They were vetted. They committed to supporting the platform long term. So what's cool is they didn't bring bagels or donuts. They're going to be here. They're going to be the people you should know, even if you don't know. So it's kind of flipped. Usually you go to an event and people are like shoving their card down your throat. Here it's actually the opposite. You want to know everyone that doesn't sell real estate or you're missing out. So I just thought I'd share that. Can we give a round of applause to all the partners of Real Producers real quick? There's a bunch of them stepped up today. We're running behind, but I'm going to let each of them just speak for 1 minute, share who they are, make sure you follow them, and we're just going to, how about you guys all come down? We'll just go down the line. Let's just put a line here. We'll pass the mic down, let you all talk for a minute, and then we'll kick this thing off. We're going to start with Cam Foster.
Hey, well, I'm Cameron Foster with Old Republic Home Warranty. We are a national home warranty company. When you're comparing home warranty companies, don't just look at the price, look at the coverage. Just in our standard plan, we cover more than most home warranty companies, all warranty companies in the state of Florida. Usually you have to upgrade to get what's just in our standard plan. Also, when it comes to air conditioning systems, we do not have a cap. A lot of the companies out there now will cap you out at $2,200, $3,000. If you've ever repaired an air conditioning system or replaced it, you know that you can't do that for $3,000. So keep us in mind. And also one last thing, when it comes to air conditioning systems, we cover unlimited systems. So you can have 1 unit or 12, and it's still the standard plan price. All right, thanks a lot, and please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
I have my home warranty with Cameron, so you guys are great. Hey guys, I am Shay Walker with Shay Walker Photo. I am a branding photographer. If you are marketing yourselves and connecting with people, it's really important for you guys to have quality brand imagery. I provide that in my branding photo shoot called the Vibe Session, where we are creating the photo shoot based on your brand, your vibe to attract the ideal client. You can learn more about me, my work, everything that I do on my Instagram. So follow me at Shay Walker Photo, SHAY Walker Photo, or shaywalkerphoto.com. And then there are places there to connect with me, look at my work, and vibe with me there. I hope to vibe with some of you guys soon, and happy mastermind.
Hello, everyone. Oh, make sure I'm in the good rating. Hi, everyone. What are we here to do today? We are here to gain new tools and insights to grow our businesses. And that's exactly what we dedicate ourselves to at VidClose. We have the experience needed to help you be successful and to grow beyond the closing table. I'm Olivia. I'm your title girl here in Orlando, and I would be happy to collaborate with you, answer your title questions, and so find me after the seminar, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Follow us on social media in the meantime. Thank you, and enjoy.
Oh, right. And that's Title Genius, powered by VidClose.
Hey there, I'm Tammy Powers with Waterstone Mortgage, and we are your Orlando's favorite lender. Anyway, we are here to say hi today, learn a lot, and what's going on in the market out there. Your job is tougher, my job is tougher. So we're going to give you some tools in your toolbox to sell more homes. We have our new Powerhouse 100 program. So how many of your upper end buyers do not want to sell their assets for pennies on the dollar right now, right? So as Aaron would say, there's a crap ton of those people out there right now. Who do you want? You want those upper end buyers. We can show them how to do 100% financing up to $1 million. So there's an extra little catch for you to reach out to me or my colleague Trevor's here in the front row. We'd love to show you how we get it done. Everything's done here in our house. We have our own fee panel of appraisers. I've got 35 years experience, used to be an underwriter, so I promise you you're in very good hands. My underwriting hub is right here. The underwriting manager for the entire country is housed in our office here on Lee Road and Wymore. And pop in, say hi one day. Thanks a lot.
All right. Vic brought the coffee, by the way. Can we give an extra round of applause for bringing the coffee today?
Oh, thank you. It's a very weak round of applause. The coffee must not be doing shit. Hi, I'm Vic DeVore with DeVore Design, and I am here to give you guys something. And I am so annoyed when you see these first-time customers promotions. I'm going to give everybody here that uses DeVore Design $75 to use towards our services. I'm going to give you a code. You can write the code down. You can email the code to yourself, text it. Whether you're a first-time customer or you're a long-time customer, you can use this code to get $75 off your next service. You can record this, too, because that way you don't have to write shit down. The code you want to use is DD, like DeVore Design, 0675. That's going to give you $75 off any of our services. Our photos for listing media starts at $175, so that's like 45% off. You can use it for our photo services. You can use it for our home staging services. You can use it for our headshot services. We have a studio downtown. And again, it's $75 off anything. And we are also doing reels now. So if you have a listing and you want to make a cool reel for your listing, that's something that we're doing now as well. We include a free reel with our basic video packages, but then we have like add-on reels that are super cool if that's something you're interested in. And Aaron, can you please get in the peripheral for this selfie photo that we're going to do? Because we do this every time, and I want you to be in this shot. So let's hear a round of applause for Aaron and everybody that came out today. Thank you, guys.
Good picture.
Woo! Get that coffee going. Thank you.
Even though I'm loud enough where you guys can hear me, right? Testing. Hello? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Samantha. I am the Business Development Manager with the Home Team powered by Movement Mortgage. We just launched a pretty cool program for FHA eligible borrowers where they can finance their 3.5% down payment and even get a 1.5% towards their closing costs. But aside from that, my job is to help our realtor partners with social media, with marketing. If you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, my handle is Samantha_home loans. I will show you guys how you guys can take your reels to the next level. I can show you my insights, which I just looked at this morning. I posted 7 reels and I've already reached 29,000 accounts. So I can help you guys with that. If you guys are interested, make sure you guys send me a message on Instagram and have an amazing masterclass.
Okay, hey everybody, happy Thursday. My name is Heather Hurry with Pillar to Post, the Jeff Mackey team. How's everybody doing? Let me hear that one more time. How's everybody doing? Okay, now that we're awake, we can now get started, right? So anyway, just thank you so much for attending. Thank you, Aaron, for always putting on an awesome class. Yeah, I thought I was walking into renovations today too, and I went, I don't know, everything's still green, so, but it's still looking good. So we're glad that you're here. Couple of quick things. We are in what? Well, for those of you that are in the industry, you should know, especially if you're in the inspections industry, but we are in hurricane season. Sorry to mention it and burst anybody's bubble, but 2 quick things for you guys to remember. 4-point inspections, very important. If you've had any changes in your homeowner's insurance, right? Wind mitigation inspections, very important also as we're getting into hurricane season. If you've got a new roof, a re-roof, you're gonna need to get that. That will also give you homeowner insurance discounts, typically. I'm not quoting that. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that. Come and see me afterwards, find me, would love to connect. It's always a pleasure working with everybody. Have a great masterclass.
Love it. And before Steve brings us home, I got to give shout out to a few people that couldn't be out today. We got David Buckles with Reliant Home Offers. He is your favorite home buyer. If you need someone that will buy your house all cash, flip it, call David. He'll make it happen. Reliant Home Offers. We're going to give him a 1, 2, 3 clap on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Also, out on an inspection now is Curtis with Next Gen Inspections. We're going to give him a 1, 2, 3. And and the staging company, they are a staging company across Texas and across Florida. Formerly Systematic Home Staging was purchased by they've made a big company, Brandon Blake, Taylor and the team. Let's give them a 1, 2, 3. And also a quick shout out to our supporting sponsors, Richmond American Homes, Assured Partners, branding by Joe, Dave Stewart Production. Dave Stewart Production is doing the video and the live stream. So if you're watching this, thanks to Dave. Let's give him a quick round of applause and all his crew. This recording will be posted after, so if you need to hear something again, go to our YouTube page and make sure you're following us. Also, CFBI, Central Florida Building Inspections. I know Mike is here and Natalie. And then we've also got a charity sponsor, that's the Apex Group with Hardeman Long. All the funds raised today, plus the charity sponsors' funds, will be donated to Base Camp Children's Cancer Foundation that helps local families fighting childhood cancer. Can we get a quick round of applause for that? And now Steve Bell. Bring us home, man.
Awesome. Thank you. Left me for last like I had something really important to say. I really don't. But anyways, we are a full-service CPA firm, Harding Bell International, HBI. We do bookkeeping. We work with realtors. We do. We can advise you on the best way for you to structure your business, ways for you to save tax. We work with, like I said, realtors, investors, foreign investors, property managers. That's kind of our specialty as a firm. We've been in the business for 20 plus years. It's Central Florida, so we're here. So we're excited to be here. A couple things about us I want you to know. We are multilingual. We have Spanish speakers, Mandarin, I think Hindi, also Portuguese. I forgot Portuguese. That's a good one. We have another one as well. I can't think exactly which one that is. But one of the things that sets us apart as a firm is, number one, responsiveness. We are available for you. If you become a client of ours, we are not just there during tax season. We're available all through the year. Also, you know, we're here in this industry. We know your industry. No CPA can know all about every industry. But we specialize in what you guys do. We want to make your transaction successful. So if your clients have capital gains questions, they have questions about, hey, 1031, what's going to happen when I sell, feel free to reach out. We are happy to work with them, happy to talk with them. Even if they don't become clients, happy to work with you guys. But appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right, sorry about that. And let's also give a quick round of applause to Mosin with Florida Home Photos taking the photos today last second. Appreciate that. All right, y'all came here for a reason, right? If you did, say, oh yeah. All right, so Michael Hellickson sold real estate for over 20 years. He listed and sold, get this isn't a fluke, I'm going to say this slowly. He listed and sold over 120 to 180 homes per month. Carried over 750 active and pending listings at a given time. That's 750 at a given time. He began his real estate career in 1991. He's been one of the top 1% of all agents nationally before he even graduated high school. At the Pinnacle, he was actually literally the #1 real estate team in the entire world out of 1 million real estate agents and teams. In addition to posting big numbers in retail and REO, he's considered to be one of the #1 short sale experts in the entire world. He's spoken to thousands of people. He's been featured in like every publication as one of the top coaches. He runs Club Wealth. If you don't know Club Wealth, you should look it up. And he's been on TV shows like Glenn Beck's CNBC, The Dave Ramsey Show, the Fox Business Network, and many other local and regional programs. He's the founder of Club Wealth Coaching, like I said. Here's what's cool about it. He didn't want me to share this, but I wanted to share it. Every Club Wealth coach has sold more real estate than the agents and the brokers that they are paired to coach with. I'll say that one more time. Every single coach in his company has sold more real estate than anyone that they are coaching, which is extremely rare in the industry for some reason. And he came all the way from Seattle, Washington. I'm not going to take more of his time. Let's give a giant round of applause. By the way, you're going to want to stick around to the end. And Michael, if you could like use a word like coconuts or something else instead of what we're actually talking about on here, that'd be awesome. And at least I gave him that warning. But I'm not an agent, and he's not an agent anymore. So technically, whatever he's going to show you on that whiteboard, as long as you guys don't talk about together, we're all okay. So let's give a giant round of applause, a roaring round of applause for Michael Hellickson all the way from Seattle, Washington.
$87%. What's that represent? 87%. 87% of the agents that get into the business right now will not be in the business in 2 years. 87% of all agents that get a real estate license do not make their first renewal. Isn't that interesting? And by the way, that's been the statistic for the last decade, the last 10 years. And what do we know about this last decade selling real estate? It's the best decade we've ever had. This has literally been the best 10 years. I've been selling real estate now. I've been in this industry now for, 32 years? And I'm telling you, I've never seen a better market than we've seen in the last decade. It's been like taking candy from babies. Watch this. How many of you have been in the business for more than a decade? Okay. If I'm right, give me an amen. Okay. You guys, check this out. It's not going to be that way in the next 2 years. The market has already begun to shift pretty dramatically in a lot of places. Now, you know it always starts on the coast and works its way toward the middle of the country. But I'll tell you, in some markets right now, we're seeing as much as a 26 to 30% drop in transaction count. Think about that. 26 to 30% fewer transactions this month than this year than this month last year. That's a pretty significant drop. How about agent count? In some markets, we're seeing agent count drop from anywhere from 6% to 30%. That's a massive drop. Now think about what happened in 2007 to 2011. What happened? You guys remember? We had the Great Recession, right? So what happened during the Great Recession? Agents got out of the business in droves. Transaction counts dropped. But here's the numbers from 2007 to 2011. Transaction count dropped by 20%. We're already more significant than that in this market right now, substantially. Agent count back then dropped by 25%. We're not even close to that nationally. Right now, the average nationally in each market's about 6% in agent count drop. So what do you think's about to happen? We're going to see a ton more agents get out of this business. And by the way, if you think that's a good thing, say yes. Really? Dude, that's it? Dude, the only thing I think real estate agents like, this is better than the sound of their own voice or their name on somebody else's lips, is the sound of a competitor's body hitting the floor. Come on. I mean, let's be real here, all right? Okay, let's get even a little bit more real. Why are you even here today? What's your reason for being here? So your body doesn't hit the floor? I like that. That's good. What else?
To be a top producer.
To be a top producer. Why? Why do you want to be a top producer?
More vacation.
More vacation? Oh, so what'd you say? Money. Say that really loud.
I like money.
You like money. If you like money, say, I like money. I like money. If you're here because you want to learn how to make more money, say, Amen. Amen. Guys, listen, here's the deal. We need to be real with each other because I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm going to say some things today that you're not going to like. I didn't get to be the #1 agent on planet Earth by doing what people wanted me to do. I did what freaking worked. You want to make more money? I'm going to tell you exactly what works. You don't have to sign up for coaching. You don't have to sign up for our event. I mean, some of you will, and I'll tell you about that toward the end. That's fine. But you don't have to do any of that to make more money. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do, and it's really simple, and most of you aren't going to like it. Oh, what? I'm sorry. What was that? What? Work? Was that Heather? Did you just say work? Watch this, guys. Write this down. And by the way, if you don't have something to take notes with, get something. If you don't have something that you can even easily grasp, grab a pen and write on your neighbor's forehead. But you need to be taking freaking notes, all right? And I don't mean on a computer or a phone. You need to be taking notes on pen and paper because that's how you'll retain the most. If you don't take notes, you're going to keep 4% of what I teach you today. You take notes, you'll get 8 to 12%. You take notes and teach somebody what you learned, you'll get 18 to 21% retention. So take notes, teach somebody what you learned. Here's the deal. Write this down. Work works. Work works. It ain't sexy, but it works. Now write this down. Success is boring. Success is boring. Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you about a kid, 19 years old, started selling real estate last year. January 1st, 2022 was this kid's first year selling real estate, first day selling real estate. January 1st, 2022. He gotten his buddies together. He knew that he needed to form a team, right? Because he hired a coach. First thing he did was he hired a coach, actually one of our coaches, a guy named Sharif Hattab over in New Jersey. Daniel knows him well. And he hired this guy and he says, okay, what do I got to do? And he says, well, you got to build a team. So he gets a couple of his buddies together. They're going to form a team. And on January 1st, they're all going to show up at 6:30 in the morning. And what do you think they were going to do? Okay, January 1st, what do you do early in the morning, January 1st? Breakfast. Okay, this is why you're broke, okay? So let's just be honest with each other for a second here, all right? Not knowing the answer to this is scary to me. Guys, they showed up at the office to call expired listings. Okay. Oh, but Michael, we don't have expired listings. Yes, you do. Everybody does. And nobody thought there was expired listings last year either. But there were. There's more this year. But they existed last year. So these guys showed up. They're going to make their phone calls. How many people do you actually showed up? How many of the 5 people on his team do you think showed up January 1st, 6:30 in the morning as promised? He was the only one. One kid. And by the way, the average age of the members of this team, 21 years old. Average age. Okay, team leader, 19 years old. So what do you do? When your team doesn't show up, what are you going to do? Be real about this. Be honest. What would you do? You'd call anyway? Oh, you'd call them and be like, where the heck are you? How many team leaders do I have in the room? Raise your hand if you're a team leader. Doesn't that sound a lot like babysitting? Wouldn't that suck? I freaking hate babysitting people. If you hate babysitting people, say amen. Freaking hate babysitting people. So no, he didn't call them. You know who he did call? He called every expired in the state. Watch this. How far do you cover? How many of you will drive a half hour for a listing appointment? Raise your hands. Keep your hand up if you'll drive an hour. Hour and a half. 2 hours? 3? 4 hours. Who will go 4 hours for a listing appointment? I got one dude right here. How far will you go? What's that? Tallahassee. Okay, is Tallahassee, is there anything further from here in the state? Okay, so let me put it this way, guys. If you're licensed there, you do business there. Period. Guys, you want to make more money? Expand your area. You've got a license to sell real estate in Florida. Figure it out. Get on the road. This 19-year-old kid decides, I'm going to call every single expired in the state of Washington. And let me tell you something, he sucked. He was horrible on the phone. He was verbally vomiting on everybody he called. It was bad, right? He just grabbed some scripts online. His coach gave him a couple of scripts. So he just just threw some stuff against the wall to see what would stick. Guess how many appointments he set in the 8 hours he made phone calls that day? He set 12 appointments in those 8 hours. 12 appointments. And guess this, he listed 4 of them. He sold 2 of them. That's not bad. Not bad for your first day selling real estate. And he was no better than anybody in this room. His scripting was terrible. His delivery was terrible. He did the very best he could with what he had, and it worked. And guess what? It'll work for you too. You want to know why I was the #1 agent on planet Earth? Because I freaking worked. And because unlike most people in this industry, I possessed a trait. And by the way, how many of you have ADD? Raise your hands. Okay, all the good real estate agents do, right? Like it's almost a prerequisite to get a license. I'm no exception to that rule. How did I get where I got if I have ADD? How is that even possible? Because I learned to focus it. What's more important, motivation or discipline? Discipline all day long. You want to make more money this year? How many of you would like to make an additional 6 figures this year? Raise your hands. Get this, I'm going to give you at least 3 different ways you can make an additional 6 figures this year. And you can easily implement all 3 of them, make an extra $300,000 this year, no problem. Very simple. But I'll tell you this, it starts with this, one word. You making an extra 6 figures this year is going to come down to one word. Write this down. Habits. It's your habits. Right? Where's my audio guy, Daniel? Where'd Daniel go? Or Danny, sorry. Danny, where you at? Look at this guy. Guys, look at the back here. Look at Danny. Look at this dude. Danny, just do this for me. Just do this for me right here. Oh, look at that guy. Dude, freaking check those pythons out. Look, this guy right here, listen, what habit do you think he's in every day? This man eats right and works out, I guarantee it. Look at that guy. Freaking specimen of perfection, right? Exactly the antithesis of me. Thank you for that, right? With my spaghetti arms up here. Because my habits, when it comes to my health, suck. They suck. They suck so bad that I had to get weight loss surgery to lose 100 pounds. I was so out of shape. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. Daniel knows. He remembers when Fat Michael. He was there. But check this out. Why am I sharing this with you? Because it doesn't matter what part of your life you're talking about. The difference is going to be in your habits. Watch this. I can look at your schedule for the last 2 weeks. And if I know the average sales price in your market, I can tell you what you're going to make this year. 100% guarantee it. Now, for some of you, that's a scary thought. For some of you, you're thinking to yourself, man, I hope he doesn't ask to look at my schedule, right? Daniel's watched me do this with people. You do not want me to see your schedule if you're not ready for some hardcore truth. Because I'll tell you this, if you don't change your habits, you're going to keep getting what you got. Now, if you change your habits, watch this. You are one habit away. Everybody is one habit away from an extra 6 figures. One habit. What is that for you? What's the one habit that you need to change to make an extra 6 figures this year? Now watch this. I'm going to give you another number. 13%. What does that represent? 13%. What's that represent? Look at this. I got a math whiz over here, right? Perfect. That's the number of agents that make it in this business, right? 13%. Do you think that number is going to be higher or lower in the next 2 years? It's going to be lower. 100% guarantee it's going to be lower. Why? Because people are getting out of this business in droves. The bottom percentage of agents in this business are getting out. And some of the bigger producers too. I've seen some teams implode this year. Some decent sized teams, in fact. And by the way, those of you that are team leaders, this is your time. This is the time to capture market share. This is the time to grow your team. This is the time to just knock this out of the park. In 2006 and 2007, I was only doing 400 or 500 transactions a year. But by 2008, I was doing 120 to 180 transactions a month. Why? Because everybody else was laying off. Everybody else was getting rid of their teams. The first thing they did before they even got rid of the team members, guess what they did? They got rid of lead sources because they were going broke. So they stopped spending money on leads. So guess what I did? I bought all the best lead sources at all the best prices. Then because they didn't have leads, guess what happened to their agents? Their big producers, what did they say? Hey, Pound Sand, you're not bringing us any leads anymore. I'm out of here. So away goes their producers. And so guess what I did? I hired all the best producers. And then guess what happened? All the best producers left, which meant all the production left, which means they can no longer support their administrative staff. So guess what happened there? They laid off the most expensive administrative staff, who generally speaking were the ones with all the experience and the best ones out there. So guess what we did? We hired all of them. Guys, I want you to write this down. Where there's chaos, there's opportunity. Where there's chaos, there's opportunity. Is there chaos right now? Let's try that again. Is there chaos in the marketplace right now? Say yes. Okay, there is chaos out there right now. This, I'm telling you right now, for most of the people in this room, the next 2 years are going to be the best opportunity of your career. The next 2 years are going to be the biggest growth spurt of your entire career selling real estate. This is the time, and it's going to come down to your habits. And I'm going to give you the 3 habits that you have to nail. And by the way, somebody asked me earlier, I had the photographer, it was asking me just this morning, you wanted to know, what can I do to magnify my business, to scale my business, to grow my business this year? It's these 3 things. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. You can be the AV guys, you can be a real estate agent, you can be a plumber, you can be whatever. Heather, listen close. It comes down to these 3 things. Write them down. Number 1, lead generation. Lead generation. Number 2, lead follow-up. And number 3, lead conversion. Now, I'm telling you right now, there's a lot more nuances. We coach the top teams across the country, right? I mean, literally, our average client is probably doing 400 or 500 transactions a year. We've got clients over 1,000 transactions a year. Literally, the biggest teams on planet Earth coach with us. And guess what they need to master at a higher level? Lead generation, lead follow-up, and lead conversion. Now, for a team leader, you're a team leader down here? Okay, for a team leader, instead of calling consumers and lead generating, lead following up, and lead converting consumers, what are you doing? Recruiting. So you're calling agents, and you need to generate leads with agents, you need to get followed up with them, and you need to convert them into team members. And this is a process. And the process begins with a 4-letter acronym. Write this down. BROT. Any German speakers in the room? I got any German speakers? Nobody? Ich habe eins. All right, so check this out. What does Brot mean? Brot. Brot. It's the German word for bread, right? So I served a mission for the church for a couple of years over in Germany. You want to learn how to sell? Go sell religion to Germans right after the wall came down. Good luck. Oh, it was. But I learned a lot about sales during that time. And one of the things I learned is this thing called the commitment pattern. It's how to get people to make and keep decisions that lead them toward their desired goals. And a part of the commitment pattern is this thing called BROT. We called it the bread of life. What does BROT stand for? Write this down. It's building relationships on trust. Building relationships on trust. Now watch this. It's often said that people need to know, like, and trust you to do business with you. How many of you believe that to be true? Raise your hand if you believe that they got to know, like, and trust you. Okay, you want to know the scary truth? They don't. They actually don't need to like you. People will do business with you even if they don't like you. I'll give you a perfect example. Nobody likes me. Daniel, I'm not the most likable guy in the world. I keep pointing to Daniel because Daniel's not only is he a team leader in the area, he's also one of our coaches. But Daniel knows most of my clients, they don't want to be my best friend. They just want me to make them some freaking money, right? They don't care about me, and not that, I mean, we have a great relationship. Daniel and I have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with all of our 75 plus coaches. But that doesn't mean they want to spend the weekend with me, right? Unless we're going to talk about business, in which case probably most of them would. My point is this, watch this, sellers. Somebody that's selling their home. Do you really think they care about you? What do they care about? They care about them. There are 3 things that sellers care about, and only 3 things. Write these down. There's only 3 things sellers care about. Number 1, who's going to get me the most amount of money? That is the number 1 thing most sellers care about. Number 2, who's going to do it in the least amount of time? And number 3, who's going to do it with the least amount of headache to me? Most money, least time, least headache. That's all they care about. They don't need to like you. In fact, they probably don't. They just want you out of their house. You're an annoyance. You're a necessary evil, right? They don't care who we are. Get out. Your listing appointments should be 37 minutes. If your listing appointment's taking more than 37 minutes, you need to ask yourself why. Now, if you got to wear them down for 6 or 7 hours to walk out of there with the listing, well, then freaking do it. But you'd never leave there without the listing, because if you leave there without the listing, Daniel's going to come right behind you, and he's going to get it. And you'll be previewing his listing next time you go out there, okay? So make sure that you get it first time. All right, now check this out. We've got to master lead generation, lead follow-up, and lead conversion at a very high level. I need to understand who I'm talking to in the room, though, so I can tell you how to do this. So I want to know. We've got 7 different tiers in real estate. So I want you to take your piece of paper, and I want you to write down Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, all the way down to Tier 7. And I'm going to give you the definition. And when I hit on yours, I want you to remember it because I'm going to ask you in about 2 seconds which tier you're in. So Tier 1 is 0 to 25 transactions per year. 0 to 25 transactions per year is Tier 1. Tier 2 is 25 to 75. Tier 3 is 75 to 150. Tier 4 is 150 to 250. Tier 5 is 250 to 500. Tier 6 is 500 to 1,000. And Tier 7 is 1,000 units per year and more. Okay? And some of you are probably thinking to yourselves, oh, nobody does 1,000 transactions a year. That's impossible. Well, I was actually the first person I'm aware of to ever do that, and I was the only person for a long time. But did you know that last year, 2022, there were over 20 teams in the United States that did over 1,000 transactions? Let that sink in for a minute. Write this number down, 51%. 51%. Do you know that last year, 51% of all transactions closed in the United States were closed by the top 10% of teams? Think about that for a second. I want to be very clear with you guys. If you are not on a team or building a team, you're going to struggle in this business in the next 2 years. It is a lot easier to make money in this business if you are either building a team or on a team. You don't have to be the team leader. In fact, for most of you, I'd say you probably shouldn't be. Because I could be on a team and I could make $250,000 to $500,000 a year easily without having to be the team leader and deal with all the headaches and have to lose money every once in a while. I mean, have you guys lost money in a month, right? Maybe $20,000, $40,000, maybe $100,000 in a month, maybe 2 months in a row. It happens. Welcome to team leadership, right? You got to deal with drama on your teams. Does that ever happen? Can't imagine, right? But as a team member, you don't have to worry about that stuff. So whether you're on a team or building a team, teams are where it's at. Watch this. Here's where our market's going. In the next 5 years, mark my words, mark today's date down, write this down, and then you hit me up 5 years from now and I'll prove to you that I'm right. In 5 years, 75% of all transactions across this country are going to be controlled by the top 100 teams in the country that will be doing over 1,000 transactions a year each. That will make up 75% of the transactions in the United States. I want you guys to let that sink in for a minute. That's where teams are headed, you guys, because they have buying power, they have leverage, they have team members. This is the model. This is it. This is what Zillow and Redfin have all been trying to do and failed at, right? They've been trying to build big national teams. If you haven't figured that out yet, that's what their game plan has been since day one. They just went about it through a back door, okay? All right, so that said, I want to know who's in the room. Tier 1, raise your hand if you're in Tier 1. Really high. Tier 1? Okay, really, I'm surprised it's not more than that. Tier 2, raise your hands. Okay, Tier 3? Tier 4? Anybody in Tier 4 or higher? So what you're saying is basically I've got a whole bunch of people that didn't want to raise their hands, okay, because I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if that means you're in Tier 1 or not. There's nothing bad about being in Tier 1, guys. Every single person in this room, Daniel, you're in Tier 4, right? Tier 3, sorry, Tier 3. So you're, in fact, I think you were one of our only couple of Tier 3s in the room. Daniel, did you start in Tier 1? Yes. So did I. We all started in Tier 1. And guess what we had to develop in order to get out of Tier 1 and into Tier 2? The right habits. The team comes in play when you get into late Tier 2. That's when you start building the team, right? But when I'm in Tier 1, it's all about building those right habits. So that 19-year-old kid, how many listings do you think he took year 1? His first year selling real estate. And by the way, this kid is nothing special. He looks and sounds like he's still in puberty. I'm telling you, if Doogie Howser and Howdy Doody got together and had a kid, it would be this one, right? Check this out. I'll prove it. Look at this kid. Look at that guy. That's him right there. He's the one on the left, by the way. And by the way, ladies, he is single and ready to mingle. Throwing it out there. And yes, that is my son, and Mom and I are absolutely taking daughter-in-law applications as we speak. But I will tell you this. Being my son is not an advantage to him. It's a handicap because the entire world's watching him right now. He's got a lot of pressure on him to perform. Daniel knows this. I mean, he sees people from all over the country watching what this kid's doing. Guess how many listings he took last year? 97. Average sales price, $600,000. Average commission, 7%. Paid out the selling office, 2%, which means he made 5%. He earned over $700,000 in his first year selling real estate. If you'd like to know how to do that, say yes. Yeah. Okay, so the very last thing I'm going to teach you on the whiteboard up here, the very last thing, I'm going to bring Aaron up in a little bit, and after he gets done, I'm going to show you up here how to get more commission and have your clients love you for it. And his clients absolutely love him. All right, so that said, if he can do it, you can do it. Write this down. What one man can do, another can do. What one man can do, another can do. And you could probably add to that, and a woman could do better. And she won't brag about it. She'll just do it because it just needs to get done. Guys like to talk a lot about what they're going to do. Women just go do it. Good for you guys. All right, that said, I want you to think about this because the key to his success is his habits. Here's his schedule. By the way, I want you guys to write down a website. Go to clubwealth.com/PDS. Clubwealth.com/PDS. That stands for Perfect Daily Schedule. Clubwealth.com/perfect daily, or excuse me, PDS. And that'll take you to the Perfect Daily Schedule where you can see not only his schedule, but you can see example schedules of how to design a schedule that will guarantee you 6 figures. This is really the train of thought I want you to think about. We all, wake up every day. It seems like most people, they get up and they think, okay, how am I going to make money today? And they go to the office and they do whatever they do and they get distracted by this and they check their email and they check their Facebook and all this stuff gets in the way and they don't make money because what they failed to do, and you've heard it before, but they failed to plan tomorrow's work today, right? They didn't plan ahead of time what they're going to do the next day. And so in that moment, they take the easiest path. That's just what we do by human nature. And we repeat this cycle every day, some of us, right? So how do we get out of that cycle? Start right now by developing your perfect daily schedule. Decide, what is it going to take? If I really decided what's my schedule got to look like for me to guarantee to make a bunch of money and to be able to have a great life in the process so I'm not married to my business, what would that day look like? What would that day look like? And then just write that down. And then that next day, live that schedule no matter what. And it's hard. I'll give you an example. His first week in the business, he had an opportunity to go on $1 million listing appointment. $1.2 million. This person wanted to list their home for $1.2 million. But Austin's schedule dictates that from 8 o'clock till noon, he's going to do what? He's making phone calls. He's prospecting, right? That's what he does from 8 till noon. And that's the work part, guys. Can you imagine making $250,000 to $500,000 a year working part-time? That's really what we're talking about here. It's 4 hours a day. It's part-time, guys. And you don't have to report to somebody else. You don't have to work for somebody else. Well, the seller calls him up, or he calls the seller, and the seller says, well, I'll meet with you, but it's got to be 10 o'clock tomorrow. And so what do you think he did? He went and met him at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And when he got home later that night, what do you think I told him? I said, you haven't been listening. I said, that was the dumbest thing you could have done. He says, well, why? It was $1.2 million. I said, did you get the listing? No. Why did you sacrifice the most important part of your day for someone else? Why did you sacrifice what you know works because someone else asked you to do something different? Why would you allow them to take money out of your pocket like that? Because I'm telling you, if you guys want to have the level of discipline it takes to make money in this business long term, you want to be the very best at what you do, you have got to learn to say no. Because every time you say yes, you're saying no to something else. And when he said yes to that appointment, he was saying no to a whole bunch of other appointments he could have been setting. But guess what? He didn't set those appointments, and so he actually lost money by taking that $1.2 million listing appointment. And by the way, if he had said, oh, I've got an appointment at that time, but I can do it at 1 o'clock, what do you think the seller would have said? They would have said fine. And if the seller didn't say fine, then fine, move on. But that's how much you have got to value your schedule. You've got to live by your schedule no matter what. The biggest problem in real estate is that people get into it because of freedom. Because they want to be free to do whatever they want. You are absolutely free to be broke. Right? I mean, is that really freedom? Is being broke freedom? No, that's bondage, man. That's the worst kind of bondage. I'm telling you, you have the right to go out and make as much money as you want to make, but you have got to develop the perfect daily schedule and you've got to follow it. Now, by doing so, you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Now, let's talk lead generation. Everybody's got to have leads. Everybody's got to have leads. If you don't have leads, your business is dead. Now, everybody says that, oh, well, I get most of my business from my sphere of influence. How many of you get a good portion of your business from your SOI, sphere of influence? Raise your hands. Okay, you should be terrified right now. You should be terrified. Why? And by the way, I love sphere of influence business. I was getting about 190 to 200 deals a year by referral, right? That's good, right? But it was only 12.2% of my business. That's a very small percentage of my business. I'm telling you right now, if you're getting more than 25% of your business from your sphere of influence, you should be terrified. Because what's happening in the country today, do we think there's going to be a big foreclosure wave again? No, probably not, right? But are they coming back? Yeah. We're seeing foreclosures again. We're seeing short sales again. We're seeing all of it again. It's a cycle, right? But here's what I'll tell you. What I'll tell you is that If you don't learn to adapt to what the change is, you're not going to make money, right? So you have got to learn to adapt. So here's the key. We need to make sure that we are generating leads beyond our sphere of influence, because nobody calls their buddy up and says, hey man, hey, I'm losing my house to foreclosure. I'm a little behind on my payments. Do you have a real estate agent you could refer me to? It said nobody ever. What do they say? When you go out there and they're behind on their payments, first of all, they lie to you on the phone about being behind on their payments. If I had a nickel for every time I was on the phone with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, we own our house free and clear. And then I get there and it's a freaking short sale. All the time, right? And so what you've got to understand is you have to diversify your lead flow. Write that down. Diversified lead flow. So I want you to make sure that you're getting, if you want to make 6 figures in this business, you need 10 to 15 lead sources. 10 to 15. Super simple, but you got to have 10 to 15 lead sources. You want to be in that 13%, you need 10 to 15 lead sources. If you want to make 7 figures in this business, you need 25 to 35 lead sources. Now, the good news is there's over 2,000 real estate lead sources right now in real estate. The bad news is there's only about 200 that are any good. Okay? We've got a list of about 110 that we think are kind of the best ones. How many of you would like our list, by the way, if you don't want our list of lead sources? Okay, not everybody wants them, so we're going to move on. Let's try it again. If you want our lead sources, raise your hand. Come on, I'll just give you the list, all right? This gal right here, like, you don't want the lead sources? You're a sponsor. You're like, I don't need the lead sources. You're a lender, right? Did you know that if you had the lead sources and you gave some of those leads to your agents, you could actually make money? That's a good thing. So you want them, just say, yes, I want the lead source. Okay, she wants the lead source. All right, I just want, dude, you got to help me out here. All right, so watch this. Grab your phone. I shouldn't even do this. This is dangerous with real estate agents. But I want you to send a text message to 727-287-5993. 727-287-5993. You're going to text the words Club Wealth, 2 words. Club Wealth. That's our coaching company, right? And so when you text that number, it's going to ask you for your email address. Give it your email address, and it will send you 17 of my top lead sources. If you do it right now while we're in the room, I'll actually give you 31 of our top lead sources. Okay? In fact, all of the ones that he's using, that Austin's using, that prepubescent midget there, all of them are on that list that I'll send you. 727, yeah, I know, I can't even read my own writing. All right, 727-287-5993. Text the words Club Wealth to that number. And then, now watch this. When it does send you the email, so it's going to ask for your email address, you give it the email address, and it'll send you the list. When it does, it's probably going to go to your spam. So check your spam and make sure you grab that out of there. All right, let's keep moving on. So, lead generation is very important. I don't have time to go through a bunch of the different lead sources with you right now and explain how to capitalize on each one of them, but I will tell you, let's jump into lead follow-up, because the real key here is lead follow-up. And this is the place that most people are dropping the ball, right? Do I have somebody on a phone? So here's the good news. This nice lady right in the front on the railing here, next person whose phone goes off or next person who picks their phone up in the room, I get to answer the phone. Okay? Did you catch that, ma'am? Ma'am, did you catch that? Next time a phone goes off in class, I get to answer the phone. Okay? And it will be hilarious for everybody in the room except for that one person. I was in Boca Raton a couple of months ago, and this really nice young lady, were you in that? You were in that room. You were there. This nice young lady's phone goes off, and just after I'd explained this. And so I walked down, and I nicely just grabbed her phone, and I said, who is it? She says, it's my husband. Perfect. So I grabbed her phone and I answered it and I said, I don't know who this is, but we're busy. And I hung up the phone. And darn if that young lady didn't just run to the back of the room as fast as she could. It's almost like she told her husband she was at a real estate event, right? What's really cool is if she had an iPhone, reason number 3,000 not to have an iPhone, by the way, the event was being held at a hotel. So maybe he pinged her phone and figured out where she was. That would have been fun. All right. So that being said, let's talk about lead follow-up, okay? Write this down. The fortune's in the follow-up. You've heard it before, but write it down again. The fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars because I'm great at follow-up. Do I like follow-up? No, I freaking hate it. It sucks. It's no fun. But you know who makes all the money in this and every other business? It's the people that do what others can't or won't. That's it. And I'm telling you, 90% of it's the follow-up. So how do we follow up? There's 6 different ways we follow up. Phone, text, email, video text, video email. I'll give it to you one more time. Phone, text, email, video text, video email. Got to follow up in those ways. Oh, I forgot number 6. My favorite. You got to Facebook stalk them. Right? I always tell people stalking used to be a 3 to 5 year sentence. Now it's a 6-figure income. Guys, I'm telling you right now, when I was doing 50 to 75 listings a month, just myself, not counting my team, not counting REO, just retail, right? Going on mom and pop appointments. You know how I was getting those appointments? I was doing it in 12 days a month. And what I would do is I would call 115 to 125 people a day, follow-up calls. I'd set 6 to 8 appointments in a day by doing that, because these were follow-up calls. These weren't initial calls, right? These are follow-up calls. And I would go list 93% of those, 93% of the ones that showed up. Guys, it's all about the follow-up. Now, here's the thing. The National Association of Realtors, they do a survey every year. Did you know that? They survey consumers and they survey agents. You want to know what the consumer's biggest complaint about real estate agents is? That's exactly what it is. It's lack of communication. Every year for the last 32 years, it's been the same answer every year. Lack of communication. You know it's never even made the list? They called me too much. That's never even made the list. Never made it. Watch this. I'm going to give you the follow-up program. Here it is. You're going to contact the people in those 6 ways based on the following schedule. Write this down. It's called the Club Wealth Rule of 3. The Club Wealth Rule of 3. Write that down. Club Wealth Rule of 3. And here's the schedule. You're going to reach out in 1 or more of those 6 ways, 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. I'll give it to you one more time. 3 times a day for the first 3 days, 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks, 3 times a month for the next 3 months, 3 times a year for the next 3 years. Now watch this. Being very honest, by a show of hands, how many of you think that might be a little too much and might upset some people? Raise your hands. Be honest. Okay, that's good. That's fair. All right. Watch this. When you do it your way and start out producing me, you can come up here and teach. In the meantime, do it my way. You know what bothers me almost more than anything else in this industry? Is that people still to this day don't just listen, but they even pay people to tell them what to do that have never sold real estate at a high level. Guys, if you want to climb to the top of Mount Everest, you need a guide who's been to the top of Mount Everest before. If you agree with that, say yes. Why should anybody be able to be a coach or trainer in this industry that has not sold more real estate than you have? If they haven't done more business than you want to do, you should not be listening to them. Best thing you can do, stop listening to people that have done nothing. Stop. And only listen to people who are where you want to be. If that makes sense to you, say yes. Okay, now that doesn't just go for their production. It's also not enough to follow someone who is making a ton of money and has a crappy life. Write this down. The most important thing I can ever share with you. Write this down. No success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. Right? No success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. Now watch this. The opposite is also true. Never use your family as an excuse for failure. And I see that as often as I see people using success as an excuse for failure in their home. Okay? You've got to have balance. There's 5 key areas in your life. Write these down. Family, business, financial, health, both physical and mental, and your spiritual life. I'll give them to you again. Family, business, financial, health, both physical and mental, and your spiritual life. And you've got to have balance in all 5 key areas of your life. Because if any one of those is out of whack, the rest of them suffer. If that makes sense to you, say yes. Okay. So we've got to have balance in all 3, and that's where that perfect daily schedule comes in. So go to the website, clubwealth.com/PDS, watch the video on how to create your perfect daily schedule, and then as you design it, make sure that you plan all of your life in, including your free time. I can tell you what I'm doing every minute of every day between now and, well, I'm probably 6 months out right now in my schedule. Now, when I say every minute of every day, there's free time in my schedule, and I can tell you what, more importantly, not just what I'm doing during that time, but I can tell you what I'm not doing during that time. I'm not answering my phone. Watch this. Hey, Daniel, if you called me this weekend to have a conversation with me, you going to be able to get a hold of me? Not going to happen. Zero chance, because I'll be with my family. And you have to treat your family like any other appointment, but the worst thing you can do is tell your clients, oh, I'm with my family, or I'm on vacation. Don't ever say that, okay? That's because they don't respect it. You need to treat it like any other appointment, but they won't respect it. All right, so lead follow-up, we're going to get really aggressive about, and then finally lead conversion. Lead conversion. Now here's where agents really drop the ball. And it's not just agents, it's everybody. Everybody in every industry sucks at lead conversion. It's hard. So what's the secret to lead conversion? You know who knows more about lead conversion than real estate agents do? What do you think? What industries are better at lead conversion than real estate? Mortgage, okay. You know, what's interesting is the only people that suck worse on follow-up than real estate agents is mortgage brokers, FYI. Unless they're following up with real estate agents to try and get them to send them business, and then it's all about the donuts. Unless you're her, right? She's not bringing donuts, she's bringing value. Thank you for making today happen, by the way. All right, that being said, what other industries are better at lead conversion? What's that? Fundraisers, good one. What else? Insurance, you're getting close. Funeral homes, yeah, their clients are dying to get to their business. All right, yes, dad joke king, just so. All right, so watch this. You guys are close. You're close. I guarantee you all know at least one of these. There's probably one or two of these in the room. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. It's your drug dealer. What? Yeah, pharmacist. Yeah, same thing, right? So what is this guy? So first of all, relax. Those of you that are offended all of a sudden, right? First of all, I'm Mormon, okay? I don't even drink coffee, let alone do drugs. It's a joke. It's an analogy. Relax. All right, so check this out. Why am I using this analogy? What do drug dealers know about lead conversion that real estate agents don't? Watch this. You should write this down. First one's free, then you got to pay. Oh, what? Yeah, you got to give them a little tasty taste of the product, right? What's your product? It's not the houses. It's not your service. Everybody, watch this. I love it when people say, my USP is I give great service. That's great. You're going to be broke. Because everybody gives great service. There's nothing unique about it. Okay, that's expected. No, what is your product? You are the product. It's you. Now, I'm not saying that, to give them a tasty taste of the product, you got to let them walk up and lick your face when you meet them for the first time, right? That's creepy. Don't do that. It's not what I'm saying. But here's what I am saying. How do they get a taste of the product? They got to get face-to-face with you. Watch this. By show of hands, how many of you sell better face-to-face than over the phone? Raise your hands. Look at that. Every hand is up. Absolutely, right? Okay, so check this out. What do we do as real estate agents? We get a call from somebody. They want to see a house. What's the first thing we do? Hey, I got to make sure you're pre-approved or pre-qualified. Are you kidding me? That is sales prevention 101. Stop it. Stop with that nonsense. Our mortgage brokers in the room are going to hate me for this now. But you're going to love me in a minute here. Mark my words. I'm going to be your favorite speaker ever in about 5 seconds. Just wait. All right, so check this out. Stop that nonsense. Guys, what kind of industry are we in? We're in a service industry, and yet we have forgotten how to serve people, right? We make them jump through all kinds of hoops. I had this house. My wife and I just bought a house a little cabin up in the mountains. And one of the ones we were looking at up there, they put on the market. It was $2.5 million, which is not really it's nice, but it's not like this Uber. Like Oprah's not going to live there, right? So it's not that nice, but it's decent. And this gal had it marked as undisclosed address. Are you kidding me? It's a $2.5 million house. Look, if some rock star or movie star is not living there, you have no business marking it as an undisclosed address, first of all. So I called her up, and I said, hey, I just want to get the address so I could drive by and see if it's in an area that we're interested in. And what do you think she said? Oh, I can't give you the address. I got to make sure you're pre-approved first. I said, well, I can pay cash for it. She says, oh, well, in that case, I need to see proof of funds. Are you freaking kidding me? Hold on, lady. We're talking for the first time ever on the phone. You want to see my bank account? You guys, this is what we're doing to people. How in the world are you going to build a relationship on trust if you're playing these games with people? Because people that actually have money, we don't want that game. We don't like that. That's not interesting to us. We'll just find somebody else who will serve us. If this makes sense to you, say yes. Okay, so let's serve people at a higher level. So I said, look, if you don't give me the address, I'll just call somebody who will, and if I buy it, I'll buy it from them. Oh, well, good luck. She was just like that dude on Taken, right? By the way, the guy on Taken that says good luck, you remember what happens to him? He gets electrocuted at the end of the movie. Don't forget that, right? Don't be that agent. All right, so check this out. So I hung up the phone. I immediately called Austin's managing broker. And what do you think she told me? Oh, it's 123 Main Street. Great, awesome, thank you. Now I can do what? Yeah, I can call that agent back, which is exactly what I did. I said, so is that 123 Main Street? How did you get that address? Well, because I called an agent that understands service, and if I buy it, I'll be buying it from them. Thus endeth the lesson. Click. I was so furious. Guys, this is what our industry has come to. You want to make more money? Be better than that. You are better than that. Show it by not asking people to get pre-approved before you've even given them what they want. Guys, we got to bring value first. How many of you have been on a blind date? Anybody here been on a blind date? Okay, great. I got a couple of honest people in the room. All right, good. And a bunch of people that are probably still single. All right. That said, when you go on the blind date, right? You go up there, the guy knocks on the door. Does he dive right in for a kiss as soon as you open the door? No, he brings you some value first, right? What does he do? He brings you flowers, he takes you to a movie, maybe takes you out to do something fun, maybe to dinner, whatever. Maybe by the end of the night he gets to hold your hand, who knows? If all goes well. But you know what you guys are doing? You're trying to make out with people over the phone. Are you kidding me? Put your tongue back in your mouth and bring some value. It's disgusting. And so how do we do this? I'm going to tell you how. When somebody calls and they want to know the price, what do you give them? Give them the freaking price. It's not about scripts. And by the way, if you're using that old nasty LP Mama, stop. It's garbage. All right? That being said, when I get them on the phone, the first thing I want to do, what's my goal when I get somebody on the phone? Set the appointment. That's the only thing that matters. Set the freaking appointment. I've got to get the appointment. And when you're making calls, it doesn't matter how many calls you make. It doesn't matter how long you make the calls. It doesn't matter what time. By the way, you should do it first thing in the morning, because if you don't, you won't end up doing it at all. Trust me on that. That being said, the number one KPI you need to track is how many appointments do I set every day? And watch this. If you'll set 2 appointments a day, 5 days a week, I guarantee you'll make $250,000 a year or more. Everybody in this room can do it. It's all you got to do. 2 appointments a day, 5 days a week. In this market, you can make $250,000 a year. 100% guarantee it. Super easy. Okay? All right, that being said, I'm going to give you a script. Once you have set the appointment, because watch this, I know some of you still want to get them pre-approved. How many of you would like to get them pre-approved anyway? Like at some point, you'd like before you go show them houses, right? Okay, that's fair. And nobody wants to raise their hand, right? Because they're afraid I'm going to call them out. Here's the reality. I know you guys, the mortgage broker, she's like, yeah, I want them to get them pre-approved. Okay. So once you have set the appointment, I'm going to give you the script that you use. But you can only use it once you have set the appointment, all right? So first set the appointment, then I want you to say the following. Word for word, it matters. I'm not a huge script guy, but this is one script that you got to do word for word. If they could save you $10,000 to $20,000 on your mortgage. If they could save you $10,000 to $20,000 on your mortgage. If they could save you $10,000 to $20,000 on your mortgage, would you be interested in chatting with one of our lenders? If they could save you $10,000 to $20,000 on your mortgage, would you be interested in chatting with one of our lenders? It's low key. Everybody says yes, and you immediately have the ability to connect them with your lender. Now, the worst thing you can do is give them your lender's phone number. They won't call them. The second worst thing you can do is give your lender their number. They won't call them either. Right? I mean, my daughter owns a mortgage company, right? And let me tell you, she's got 55 ISAs that make calls to real estate agents' databases because we know that agents and lenders are just suck at lead follow-up, right? So you have to have somebody that's all they do is make follow-up calls. That being said, ISAs, that's inside sales agents, okay? All right, so that being said, you use that script. Once they say yes, what I want you to do is 3-way call your lender in right now. 3-way call them in. And I'm telling you, it's the best thing you'll ever do. But now, here's the key. What if your lender doesn't pick up the phone? Time to get a new lender, right? I mean, truth be told, and I don't care what time of day or night it is, your lender needs to pick up the phone, or they need to have a team member who does. Okay? Again, teams are taking over the country, okay? Both in real estate and in mortgage. So you need to make sure that you're able to get a lender. And by the way, you should, if you're in tiers 3 or higher, like Daniel, you should have multiple lenders you're working with. You know, Madison should probably be one of them. That's my daughter. And then somebody local. And then probably at your level, you're almost tier 4 right now. So you should probably be looking at adding a third one as well. So, and here's the thing. You got to feed these guys. Don't be asking them for money, okay? You don't want money from them. You want them to help you convert leads. That's worth a lot more than money, right? You don't need more lead sources. You need to convert the ones you have. All right, that being said, I'm running short on time. And so I want to wrap it up with this. Well, let's back up. I'm going to come back in a couple of minutes. We're going to bring Aaron up in just a second. And Aaron's going to talk to you about something. And then I'm going to teach you how to make more money on every single transaction. I'm going to show you how to get whatever number you want. And it doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell you what you should charge, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. And I'm going to tell you how to do it in a way that you're going to get whatever number you want, and they're going to be screaming happy to get it. Before I do, I want to tell you about an event coming up. Remember we talked about the 13%? You want to be in that 13%? Let me tell you what the 13% do. The 13% invest in their education. Now, some of you might be interested in coaching with us at some point, and that's awesome. I will tell you this. With our coaching program, we're the only coaching program on planet Earth in real estate that guarantees your success. How so, you ask? Because when you're coaching with us, if you don't make an extra $100,000 or at least double your income, whichever is less, in your first year coaching with us, we will give you 100% of your money back. Nobody else will offer that. Why are we so and by the way, guess how many people we've ever had to refund their money? 0. Nobody's even asked. Why? Because it freaking works, and we've got thousands of clients. Thousands. And the biggest agent, like you would, like if you recognize a big name in the industry, they've been in our program or are still in it at this point. Okay? All right, that being said, we have an event coming up. And I'm going to recommend you guys come to this event. And actually, can I get you to help me hand these out? That's it right there. Thank you very much. And if you might need Aaron or somebody else to help you out with that. We have an event coming up in Houston, Texas. Yeah, it takes time out of your day, and it takes money to get to this event. It's normally $997 to attend this event. The average agent in the room, there will be about 400 agents in the room. The average agent in the room, 200 transactions per year. That's average. There will be plenty of people doing 700 and 1,000 transactions a year and more that are in that room. And you'll be brushing up against them. You'll be learning from them. You'll be networking with them, having lunch with them. I'm telling you right now, if you can swing it, find a way to get to the event. Daniel, well, you're in tier 3 right now, right? Almost tier 4? Okay, let me ask you a question. Actually, if you could come up here real quick, Dan, I know you're getting ready to help hand those out, and thank you for that, but if I could, you do me a favor. I want you guys to hear, Daniel, you come to all of our events. Why do you come to all of our events?
The networking opportunities, the referrals that are exchanged, the amount of time that you could just spend with these giants in the industry, and they're just sharing freely. That's a huge part, just kind of sitting around the fire and being able to just exchange ideas and become friends with people who are doing 700 transactions a year, 1,000 transactions a year, and you become cool with these people. And when they have someone who's looking to buy or sell in your area, they're going to remember you because of those relationships that you built at an event like this.
Yep, it's awesome. Thank you for that. Guys, I'm telling you, the referrals alone, I mean, we get people all the time. Jason Lash, one of our coaches out of Michigan, he talks about how at each event, he gets at least $1 million in volume and referrals just by going to the events each time. Is he your coach? Jason's your coach? I didn't know that. He's a great guy, super smart guy. And this is the other thing. Guys, as much as you think the people in this room are sharing their best ideas with you, and they're probably sharing good ones with you, they're not sharing their best ones. They're not sharing the stuff that's working the very best for them because they're in your local market. The reality is you need to get elsewhere where you can be exposed to other people. Now, how many of you have been to a national event before? Raise your hands. Keep your hand up if somebody got a little bit sloppy. Okay. Guess what does not happen at our events? I'm going to be very clear with you, okay, because this is really serious for us. Culture is very important to us, all right? There are 3 things you are not allowed to do at our events. You have to understand we're brand agnostic. We work with people from every brand out there. We work with, like our coaches and our clients are literally represent every brand you can think of. There are 3 rules at our events. Number 1, don't get sloppy. If you want to drink, drink. But if you get sloppy, you're going to be asked to leave and you don't ever get to come back, and we will not give you your money back. It's bye-bye, you're done. Number 2, do not let me catch you hitting on somebody else's spouse. This is not a meat market, right? That's not our events. And I want your spouse to rest assured that when you go to our events, you're safe and you're not going to be bothered and you're not going to be hit on. Number 3, that goes for team members as well. If we catch you trying to recruit anyone from our events to your brand or your team, you're done. This is a recruiting-free environment. Now, we'll teach you how to recruit when you get back home. We'll help you do that, but you don't do it at our events. Our events are a safe place where people share ideas and they come and they get tons and tons of value and they bring tons of value for each other. All right, that being said, here's what I'm going to ask you guys. The favor I'm going to ask you when we get done today, I'm going to go to that back door. And whether you fill it out or not, I'm going to ask you to bring me that form, shake my hand, and give me a chance to ask you if you got value today. And if you got value today, let me know. If you didn't get value today, don't say a word. I'm just joking. All right. That said, there's 3 boxes in the upper right-hand corner of that form. Upper right-hand corner, you'll see a box that says coaching. If you're interested in learning what it takes to coach with us and what we would do for you when you're coaching with us, then check that box on coaching. Make sure your name and contact information are down below. If you're interested in our ISA program, where my daughter's mortgage company will literally have her ISAs call your leads for you and set appointments for you. Eric Harbert, one of our coaches in Texas, he just started working with her. In the first 2 days of her people calling their leads, literally 8 appointments she got for him in 2 days. Not bad. So if you'd like information on that, check the ISA box. If you'd like information on joining a team, then check the join a team box. And I will tell you this, the last thing I'm going to say before I bring Aaron back up here, I want you to look around the room. Look around the room. Who do you see? Do you see competitors or do you see collaborators? I hope you see collaborators, and I'll tell you why. Because you're going to do more business with the people in this room than you will any of your clients, okay? So you want to know the very best thing you can do today? You want to make more money today? Don't leave right away. Stick around for a half hour. Get to know 2 or 3 people in this room you haven't met before, and then follow up with a mastermind. Maybe take them to coffee, right? Get together with them and just build some relationships inside the room, because here's the deal. When you build relationships on trust with people in this room and you're in a competing offer situation and they see your offer come through and somebody else's offer come through, whose do you think they're going to push through? 100% guarantee it, guys. Like, this ain't rocket science. I can tell you right now, I see it in Club Wealth all the time. If there's 10 people that are, like we have a Facebook group. In fact, if you haven't done this already, one of the things you should do, you should join our Facebook group. There it is, there. Should get signed up for that Facebook group. It doesn't cost you anything. We send over 7,000 referrals every 6 months in that Facebook group. 7,000 referrals in 6 months. Now watch this. If you've met one of those people versus, there's 10 people you could refer it to and you've met one of them, who do you think you're going to refer it to? You're going to refer it to the one you've met, right? So start building relationships inside the industry. Now, after Aaron gets done, I'm coming back up and I'm going to walk you through this commission piece. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to ask that none of you record that part, okay? I'm going to ask that you not record that you keep it to yourself. But I'm going to and you cannot talk to each other about what I'm going to share with you, because if you talk about it, you're violating the Sherman Antitrust Act. But because I'm not a real estate agent, I can tell you about it all day long.
Yeah, don't violate that in our room either.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. We don't want to get you guys in trouble. But what I do want to do is I want to show you, I want to give you the tools by which you can make more money and have happier clients in the process. So with that, Aaron, you
I'll
had
make it
something
real
you want to add?
simple. You can keep going in a second. I just want y'all to, how many of you guys have learned something so far? Let's make some noise.
Thank you.
People didn't realize what they were in store for, and I think they're going to all be like, no, you need to watch this replay. You need to watch this video. I'm going to watch that like 10 times over. So thank you guys for being here. Real quick, if you guys could pull your phones out right now, we've got a ridiculous panel coming up next month. It's July 20th. Go to masterclasscfl.com. That's Masterclass CFL. We changed names. Don't forget that if you're still going to Masterclass Orlando. Masterclasscfl.com. We'll be up the street half a mile at venue on Lake Lily. It used to be called the Maitland Civic Center. That's its real name, but now it has a fancy title. We have Ken Posick, Tiffany Pantozzi, Lee Goldberg. They're all badass agents. They all have phenomenal personalities. I probably won't speak at all that session once they start, because they will be fireworks back and forth. I guarantee it. If you know what I'm talking about, say, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the room already knows. So make sure you grab your spot. I guarantee you the free tickets will be gone within 24 hours. Those of you that are watching this on Zoom, grab your spots too. Masterclasscfl.com. The Zoom spots are $10. Why? Because someone's got to pay for the video, because transparently, none of us benefit when you're not in the room. So those of you that are watching this that are like, when Michael offers for you to go to his event and you're like, how do I get there? Send us a message. We will get you the info if you're watching this online and you want to go, or you miss out, or you're watching the YouTube. I guarantee we'll get you in touch with the right people. So anyway, pull your phones out, masterclasscfl.com. That's the next session. We also, at the end, if you stick around, we'll have slides for some of the future sessions beyond that. But I'll just let Michael talk to you guys now. And I'm not an agent. He's not an agent. Don't talk about what he's going to say. And I at least warned you guys twice, so I'm going to stay out of this.
I love it. All right, good stuff. All right, so I hope you guys have already joined the group. If you have not, do it really quick because I'm going to take this slide off there. All right, here we go. Guys, understand this. The pricing that you've got on that sheet there today, that is the today only price. And I'll tell you why we do this. I'm a believer in what Napoleon Hill says. He says that less successful people make up their minds,